West Georgia TV. Powered by 316 Healthcare. And presented by Osier Apparel. And Caliber One Construction.
Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Allison Key. Welcome to our first episode of Health and Wellness West Georgia. Of course, if you know me, you know Erika Smith, PA extraordinaire and spa director at Spa 316. Welcome to our first live show here.
We're back.
We are back.
With video this time though.
We've done a podcast, which is way easy. It doesn't matter what your hair looks like, how you sit, her RBF, like it does, you know, her eye rolls. You can't see all that.
I'm working really hard on smiling.
Now we are on camera, so everything shows. So let's just kind of start from the beginning. We left sort of a traditional medical setting about 6 years ago and started what we're doing now. But a large part of that was because we wanted to add some spa medicine or aesthetic medicine, which is one of the fastest growing fields of medicine in the country right now. Have you always wanted to do that?
I think in the back of my head, there's always been this little itch to do it. And then you kind of planted that little seed about 7 years ago of kind of wanting to do it. And then I just took off head first.
Yeah, we did dive in head first, that's for sure. I think that both of us kind of felt like, especially for women, but it's true for everybody, that feeling confident in your skin is so important to just your overall success and happiness, and that there's more to being healthy and well than just taking prescriptions and sort of the you know, what we traditionally think of as medicine and health and wellness. And so we wanted to kind of incorporate weight loss and bioidentical hormones and Botox and like the
holistic side.
The holistic side too. Yeah, we're into some peptides, and of course we have all kinds of massage therapy and skincare. And so it's just helping people sort of find their confidence. What has been your favorite thing or the most dramatic thing that you've seen with the spa?
My favorite thing to do is probably cosmetic injectables, just because it's such a small change, but can create such a different level of self-confidence that it changes somebody's whole outlook, whole dynamic.
For sure.
And I've seen that myself. I look at myself from 10 years ago. I feel like I'm a better version of myself now.
Benjamin Button, getting younger every day. But really, when you start feeling better about whether it's your physical or appearance, or you need to lose some weight, or you need to get your hormones balanced, or whatever it is, like once you kind of look in the mirror and feel good about yourself and your life, it changes everything. How you interact with your coworkers, your spouse, your kids.
Absolutely.
So it's not just vanity. It's not just, you know, I want to look perfect. You know, a lot of times you'll go to a conference and they'll say, hold a mirror up in front of your patient and say, you need to do this, this, and this. And I would die if somebody did that to me. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
How do I feel?
Right. You have to look in the mirror. What bothers you? What can I help you do? And there's no such thing as a magic bullet. Sunscreen and diet and exercise and all those things, there's no substitute for that. But if everybody's got something that they want to work on about themselves, I feel like that's what we do well, is help people do that.
And it's not just a one-time appointment. It's not you come in. It's one of these things you kind of progressively work on. Yeah.
And it's a self-care thing, you know, prioritizing taking care of yourself as well. But you can go way wrong with injectables as well. And we've seen a lot of that. You do a lot of
TikTok filters.
Yes.
Over-injected lips that look, you got to find somebody that's okay with saying, absolutely not. We're not doing that. I'm not going to do that. We're going to dissolve these. You need to take a couple steps back.
Yeah. It's one thing to kind of say, I want this or that. It's another thing to have a provider who will say, well, if we do what you're asking to do, you're going to have a negative result, and here's why. And this is what I would suggest we do to achieve that. And so you do a lot of corrective work as well, and then a more appropriate, balanced look, I think. And some people want their lips really, really big. That's what they want them to look like. But that's also progressive. It's not something you come in and do
and I think
overnight.
It's a trend. I think we're now stepping back from that trend, and we're going more towards natural, fuller lips, just not the big balloon lips.
I think that's kind of always been our goal, though, is a more natural appearance. Like, we want you to look like your best self. I always tell people I want to look like I sleep well at night and I don't have any stress. and I'm
kids
happy all
got
the
8 hours
time.
of sleep.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
all got 8 hours of sleep
Mhm.
and we feel great. That's what I want to look like.
Yeah.
I'm not
Nobody
trying
was
to.
screaming at anybody this morning.
That's
We had a
yes,
great
yes.
morning. It was relaxing. Everybody got in the car normal.
We sang songs on the way to
Feels
school.
wonderful. Nobody touched each other.
Yes, there was no hitting.
No.
Everyone enjoyed their breakfast. It was
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. We wish that was reality.
Yeah.
But at least my face looks like that.
My face says we do.
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you enjoy doing?
I like doing all of it. I really like the threads are cool to me just because they're a little invasive, not super invasive, but they're just, I don't know. There's so much science behind that and how it works. And it's not just putting a filler in, it's a filler plus the stimulation of those tissues. I like those. I really love the bioidentical hormones. I think if I had to just pick one thing that we do that makes huge difference is the bioidentical hormones. Like it's life-changing for people, for men, for women, for couples. We joke about how many marriages we've saved, but it's probably not really a joke.
Yeah, no, it's probably real life.
And I speak from personal experience. I had a hysterectomy when Luke was about a year old. So 9-ish years ago. And for, those 4 or 5 years before we started doing this, I felt terrible all the time. I felt horrible. And so we started looking into this bioidentical hormone pellet therapy. And traditionally, when you're trained in medicine, it's that hormones are going to kill everybody. And that's not true. There's a balance of these things, but life changing. We started doing the hormone. Personally, I started doing the hormone therapy, and I don't feel like an old lady anymore.
Right.
It's not that you get home from work and you've gone to work and you've gone to baseball practice and you've cooked dinner and you've done all the things. You're still tired, but now you're not just dead dog want to jump in the bed tired. You are. I still have enough left in me to stay up and watch an episode of my favorite show tonight, and then sleep like a baby and wake up tomorrow morning feeling refreshed instead of waking up tomorrow morning feeling like, oh, I have to do this all over again.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's life changing for people. And that's fun. And then, of course, the weight loss program
that's the one that's taken off lately.
Yeah, exploded lately. And I think people are really benefiting from that.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the differences that you should be looking for if you are looking to start a weight loss program is for a provider that offers the support for a lifestyle change.
The accountability.
There's not a magic bullet. Lord knows we wish there was.
Yes.
But there's not a magic bullet. It has to include the diet, the exercise. I think sometimes when you're in healthcare, we take for granted that everybody understands what a healthy diet is, what that means. And people really don't, because there is a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of stuff that you buy off the shelf that leads you to believe it's healthy when it's not a healthy
fad
food.
Diets and going off the deep end of this way and that way. And
and
because I think you always said eat what God puts on the earth.
Yep, that's kind of my rule of thumb. Is like if God put it on this earth, then it's good for us to eat, and if that's the majority of what we're eating, then we're going to be healthy. The less processed stuff you eat, the better. Mm-hmm. So, and then the advice about shopping the perimeter of the grocery store, avoiding like the center aisles. Yeah, that's a big deal. And then people worry about canned and frozen and fresh and the expense and all that. But there's a way to eat healthy that's not going to break the bank. All groceries are expensive right now, but that's a topic for the farm show, for the ag show, and how important, agriculture is in our community, but eating locally grown food, eating as fresh as you can, it's so important. But having those, having a program, having a provider when you're trying to lose weight, that you're right, the accountability and the coaching and the education and meal plans and all those sorts of things are so critically important. And
it was strategic. It was a big deal for me. I gained 65 pounds with both my pregnancies, and I've never had to struggle with weight prior to then, but weight loss and the mental component that comes with it is so draining.
Oh, yeah.
Because there are days where you're like, I don't want to get up and work out.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat that garbage today. I want to eat a piece of pizza and I want to
give
do what
me
I want. Yes.
The McNuggets.
But it's just getting back on the bandwagon, don't letting that throw you off, and get up the next day and get back on it.
Yeah, I think that mental hurdle is a big deal for a lot of people, including myself, in that if I missed a Monday, well, then the whole week's shot. If I eat trash all day today, then the whole week's shot. And it's not like that. It's you have to get in that mindset where,
okay, today was a one-off.
Yeah, or this meal was a one-off. Yep. So, that your diet's kind of a bank account, and you debit so much out per day. And so you just try to find the good balance. And sometimes your body needs a rest, and sometimes your body needs a big old carbohydrate.
Right.
And so finding a balance, not punishing yourself or shaming yourself for having a blow it day, just getting back on the wagon tomorrow. But I think too, the exercise component is huge. I think Sarah Grace is going to come on a later episode, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But it almost becomes addictive. It's a form of mental health care. Yeah, for sure. So I say, you know, at home a lot, like I get up really early before everybody else. It's my quiet time during the day, and I do my Bible study and I exercise in that first hour and a half of my day. And if I don't do that, I feel
scrambled,
and I'm usually a little angrier, grumpier, testier. You know, I feel like when I get up and I spend my time with God and I exercise, I've got my mind right for the day now, and you know, bring it on. I'm ready, and so it's a huge mental health thing. I had a very stressful fall, and we had gotten into working out like super regularly in September. And I say all the time, I think it saved my life, or at least saved my mental health. It probably saved somebody else's life, maybe my husband's life. I don't know, but it made a huge difference just committing to that. And if, you know, the first few weeks are hard, but now it's like, gosh, we missed 2 days in a row, and it's like, oh, you know, I've got to do something. I feel terrible. So, but you got to have the accountability. You know, it's that person who's going to be there with you. Yeah, it's a huge part of it. So we've had a lot of growth in the past 6 years, and we've done a lot of things. And I always say, like, if there's an aesthetic procedure in Atlanta or Birmingham, it's also in Bremen and Carrollton, because we do pretty much all of it. Laser liposuction, cool sculpting, M-Sculpt Neo, all the fillers, all the things.
All the things.
And it's been fun. And I think we've changed a lot of lives in a positive way, positive impact. We're very conscientious about body dysmorphic disorder, or people who may be struggling in a different way and are looking for an unhealthy outlet. And because we come from a very traditional medical background and still have a traditional medical practice, I think we're sort of aware of and keen to those things and are looking for them and trying to help people kind of find that best fit. Path. Yeah. So it's been good.
It's been awesome. I mean, like you said, we've grown from just you and I,
me and you, buddy, to 22 providers deep now. So, and I think they're all really strong, like-minded, committed providers. And it's important. It's important to find a good fit. You know, I'm not going to be everybody's favorite Chick-fil-A sauce, and neither are you. No. We're all different. So finding somebody that you can really communicate with and talk to is super important. And we're going to talk more about that in future episodes.
But I think we all complement each other very well.
For sure. For sure.
Your strong suit is my weakness.
And vice versa. Yeah. And so makes us a pretty strong unit, strong team. So I'm proud of us. Thanks for tuning in for our first episode here on Health and Wellness West Georgia. We've got lots of great topics, lots of great shows coming up. If you have questions, you've got burning topics you'd love to see us cover or talk about, you can always reach out to us on our social media pages at 316 Healthcare or Spa 316 Georgia. You can also email us info@316healthcare.us, and we will be sure to get to all of those big questions. And we're going to visit lots of other places, cover lots of topics that affect all of health and wellness in our community. It's a great place to live. We're glad you tuned in, glad you've tuned in, and we'll see you next time. Take care.